And welcome back for a quick birthday. Who would win? Happy birthday, Mohawk. Mohawk. You changed your name. Mohawk Half-Breed the Shredder, which you used to be. I think Mohawk Indians, Blood Indians Never Die, or something like that. That used to be your name. Actually, next time I transfer all the Who Would Win suggestions into a new book, I'm gonna have to combine those two together because I actually have both your suggestions in both your previous and current handle. But she said it's your birthday, and I know you've been asking for this one for a while, dude. So here it is: Pennywise the dancing clown versus the Super Shredder, specifically from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2: The Secret of the Ooze. So okay, look, again, Pennywise. Seriously, I can do this in my sleep at this point. Pennywise is a species of creature known as a glimmer from the macroverse outside of our universe from the Stephen King series. While its true form is not truly known, there are speculations on what it is. So it's said that the Deadlights might be its true form. Other people, it's been also speculated that it does have a true form. The closest, I think, was it Richie looking into the Deadlights saw was like a massive hair and teeth, something like that. It's power-wise equal to Maturin in a different way. It's a consumer and destroyer, whereas Maturin's a creator and like life giver. But it's not the top dog in the Stephen King universe. It's still extremely powerful. Though Pennywise ultimately prefers to take on the form of Pennywise, the dancing clown. Why? Because, I don't know, it just likes it. This is because Pennywise can frankly change the form of whatever it wants. A werewolf, a mummy, Dracula, a person you know, a giant F-off spider, you name it, Pennywise can basically turn into it. That said, however, Pennywise does prefer to take the form of things that you're afraid of, because Pennywise feeds... Technically, Pennywise actually does feed on meat, but Pennywise likes fear a lot because he describes it as, or she, but Pennywise might in theory be a woman, or a female, but Pennywise describes it as salting the meat. Fear makes us taste better, and that's why Pennywise generally goes after kids, because they're easier to scare. Now, Pennywise has a numerous amount of abilities, including, as we said, shape-shifting, physically stronger than a normal person, invisibility, teleportation, intangibility, minor reality warping, though nothing that seems to last. Mostly it's actually illusionary creations, the casting. Mind reading and telepathy, including being able to deduce what your fear is and work that fear against you, or general fear overall. Pennywise is extremely vicious, but also sadistic and a little egomaniacal. Egomaniacal is not the right word. Full of himself. He's been top dog, as he describes, he's destroyer of worlds. He's been top dog for so long that when a group of kids come in and aren't scared of him at all, he doesn't know how to handle that. At first he thinks, okay, I'm just going to kill you, but no, you guys are ganging up on me, and you're no longer afraid of me, and that's weakening me. Therein lies the biggest weakness of Pennywise, is that Pennywise's abilities are powerful, but it really is a legit battle of wills when it comes to Pennywise. If you are able to overcome your fear of the clown, then he loses power over you. This is more effective in group scenarios, where a group of people can just gang up on him and just weaken him to the point where he's just this little little baby thing, and then they tear out his heart and rip it up. So even though on a one-on-one fight it's less effective, it's still effective, and the longer the fight would go on, theoretically a battle of attrition would occur, where ultimately it's just a matter of who's going to beat who before the other tires out and can't do anything anymore. Even one-on-one, Pennywise can be overpowered, as we saw in that, again, I used the scene in the movie, but it makes sense, with that scene with Richie, grown adult Richie, where he gets attacked again by the leper version of him. And he overwhelms him, starts choking him, and he disappears. Because Richie wasn't showing any more fear of him. The Shredder from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles series, the original comic book series, the original movie series, I believe he's still he's not a Krang or anything like that, or Kang, sorry. No, yeah, Krang, not Kang. So many Angs anymore now. He's not a Krang. He is a human in that version. He's a very strong person. Like, doesn't really display any fear except for his deep hatred of Splinter. He's a expert martial artist. He wears his shredder armor, which is durable in its own right. In fact, it's actually because the ooze that mutated Turtles is the ooze that mutated Daredevil, like gave Daredevil his powers. That is actually confirmed. It's possible that his armor could theoretically be adamantium or vibranium because it's considered stronger than the average metal. But that's fan speculation. Or fan speculation. I think I just said span speculation. It's fan speculation on my part. Still, he is a master martial artist, master ninja. Capable does carry a couple things like a smoke bomb if he needs it, throwing stars, what have you. Fighting staff. Obviously, as a shredder, he's got blades on his arms. But when he took the ooze, or he got exposed to the ooze, and became the super shredder, all of his abilities were enhanced to the umpteenth degree. His physical capabilities, his durability, strength, endurance, all of that were jumped. However, unlike other versions of the Super Shredder, and we are talking about the secret of the ooze Super Shredder, by the way. That is the one you asked for. Unlike other versions of the Super Shredder, this version lost a lot. He lost speed advantage. He was no longer able to be a ninja. He was lumbering, and he got defeated by a bridge, a dock falling on him. I don't believe he was killed, but he got defeated by a dock falling on him. Add on to the fact, too, that he was kind of just a bit of a lumbering, angry guy at that point. Like, it seems that every version of the Super Shredder I've seen does seem that he loses a level of intelligence, which is one of his best traits. He's actually very smart and very cunning. So if we're talking about the Super Shredder versus Pennywise, who wins? Normally, I would say that Pennywise would be in trouble because the guy's not afraid of him. However, that does get countered to a degree because Pennywise can manipulate weaker-willed individuals. And while generally his will would be a lot stronger, the fact that he's kind of angry and dumbed down a bit does make him more vulnerable to something like that. Add on the fact that he doesn't... In the early portions of this fight, Pennywise just would be able to tank hits from him because even if he does hit Pennywise, he might even hurt him, but Pennywise can walk it off. This isn't the late endgame where Pennywise is so weakened by the lack of fear where those hits could legitimately hurt him, wound him, put him down for the temporary count or permanent count. It's not that scenario. Add on to the fact that even though he's super strong, he's also just bulky, burly, and kind of a lughead at this point. And Pennywise, you just got to be toying with him the whole time. Ultimately, either warping him to his will, or just bringing down a dock on him or something like that. Or he turns into Splinter and just, pisses him off even further. He goes in, tries to find what he's afraid of. And he's not fearless, the Shredder. Like, I can't say for certain if Shredder was someone he was afraid of. Splinter was someone he was afraid of. But he certainly reacted to him. And that could be something he could use to trigger him. And ultimately, if he really wanted to, he could just turn into the damn spider and just go boom, 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 boom. Again, this is not the more modern version of the Super Shredder who could throw tankers and stuff like that without a problem and was still fast and deadly. Unfortunately, the secret of the ooze Shredder is kind of a dud. Even though it's like, but you just said, I know what I just said, but mostly all I just said came from the first movie where he demonstrated that stuff, and that is the same character transferred into that movie where he became much more of an adult. So, yeah. Unfortunately, this one would go to Pennywise, I think. Shredder certainly has capabilities. Taking that ooze actually would hinder him in this fight. He'd have a better shot against Pennywise if he didn't take the ooze, to be frank. Because then he'd have all his mental faculties there. He'd be a lot faster, be able to use his ninjutsu abilities to their fullest. So actually, the normal movie Ninja Turtle Shredder from the original series would have a better chance, I think, than the Super Shredder. Super Shredder actually loses a lot in this fight just because he's slowed down and a lot more mentally handicapped. And yes, I think that's actually a good way to put it. Because a handicap is basically, something that handicap makes I've actually never looked up the definition of handicap. I know, you use it and you use it in a way you know what it means, but you actually don't, because people talk about people with handicap. People talk about handicapped people in one way, but I'm going to play with a handicap, like I play a game with a handicap. It seems different. Okay, it's an active impediment to lack of fund or lack of funding has handicapped or developed the research. Yeah, they use an example in the sentence. An active impediment. That's basically what handicap ultimately means. And yeah, whether or not he still had some mental faculties is irrelevant. The fact is that what we see in the movie, from what I remember, he got handicapped a bit. He wasn't special needs or anything. I'm not trying to say that, and I'm not trying to make some sort of analogy or whatever. I'm just saying, by the definition, that's what happened. Anywho, so yeah, that's my thoughts. What do you think? Happy birthday, dude. See you guys tomorrow for the next Who Will Win. I still got the Pokemon video to do today and box office. So thanks for watching. See you later.